What's up, guys? Shooting a video real quick on my way to do a run. I've been shooting a lot more content lately, probably because I've been in a better mood. I don't know. Doing a bit better, working on things, and I just wanted to. This video is about self-love. Okay, so we're always going to go back to sort of like the basics, you know, when it comes to getting better. Now, at least from my standpoint, and we talked about the basics. I talked about the basics in other videos, but one of the basics that I left out that I wanted to bring back is something that I struggle with, and really what anxiety is and depression is. Whatever the initial cause is, it's sort of like, imagine a I got like a stain on my hat here. Imagine if there's a forest fire, right, and it's raging and it's like taking over a whole forest, or a whole state or whatever. That forest fire started with one spark, typically. Whether it was an accident, whether it was from arson, a lightning strike, or whatever. So one spark could ignite something that could be that disastrous. And although it's important to find the source of that, of that fire, it's also important to put the fire out. So finding the source of the fire is not going to help put the fire out. It might help you prevent having future fires. It's a really good metaphor, and I actually just made it up on the spot. It's pretty good. I like to talk in analogies. So anyway, so it's helping you build your toolkit and to prevent those fires from raging. What anxiety in my mind is that. So yes, while important to find the spark in the long run, it's also important to use whatever tools necessary to get the fire under control, to get that fire contained. One of the tools that I haven't ever employed, I always was like, oh, it's got to be medicine, it's got to be supplements. It's the internal stuff. Guided imagery helps me. I have ADHD, so it's very hard for me to kind of sit by myself and just tune out, but I do guided imagery. And also running helps for me. Now, so anyway, self-love. So self-love, when the fires are raging and you've suffered for weeks, months, years in my case, and many of the people that I know is the case, in all levels and all degrees, you've been suffering for so long. Now, it's very easy to beat up on yourself. Like, to be honest, I absolutely probably hate myself. And this is just a question that recently God had put into my heart that I'm starting to answer or analyze, is the fact that, how do I feel about me? I hate me. I mean, who am I? I'm a guy that had a bright future and still does, but sacrificed the better part of a decade to chronic pain, anxiety, depression. I don't want to be that guy. You know, I want to be free. I want to be outside of that. I want to be someone else. So I'm constantly fighting my own self because I don't want to be me. I don't love me. I don't love myself. And this is something new. I'm looking into self-acceptance and self-love. If you can be okay with yourself and your situation and give yourself a break. I mean, look at what look at what's happened to you. Look what you've had to go through. And you're still standing. Give yourself some credit that you've been able to overcome this. You've been able to do whatever you've been able to do. No matter how small. I've overcome a lot, and although I don't feel well a lot of times, I'm doing things that I know that I'm not even comfortable doing, because I know it requires that to move on. But one of the steps in the healing is to accept it, but also to love yourself and give yourself a break from the self-hate. Like me, I don't know how to get there, but I do know it is on my radar now that I have to, in order to get better, I have to love myself, and I have to give myself some credibility and some credit, and be proud of myself. And that's really when you find that, and you find that you can be proud of yourself and love yourself, that's going to be big. And along those same lines is, whatever the tools that you're using, do not get upset about it. Do not feel bad about taking medication. Do not feel bad about, whatever you have to do to get better. I'm not condoning drugs or anything like that, but whatever it is that helps you, I'm not saying alcohol and weed and all that stuff. I'm not against weed, but I know people that self-medicate too much, and that can be problematic as well. There's one other thing I wanted to say, but but anyway, the main gist of this video is just to love yourself, find compassion for yourself, talk to yourself. Changing the narrative. This is so important. And I give great advice that I often have a hard time taking. So don't think that, I've got it all figured out. I'm just learning from teachers, other people, God, different people guiding me in directions. But the narrative, you got to change the narrative, right? Instead of saying, I'm so tired of feeling this way, I'm so sick of being sick, I'm so sick of feeling tired, I'm so sick of being depressed, I'm so sick of being anxious, I don't want to feel this way anymore. Oh shit. What if you could change that and be like, it's good that I got sick. For my sake, it's taught me a lot of things, and I'm going to appreciate life more. But in my standpoint, sorry I just got disconnected, but I think I'm going to merge the video, so it probably won't look like that to you. But anyway, from my standpoint, like saying I had to get sick in order to get better. I had to go down in order to come up. I had to experience those fallouts, or I never would have quit drinking. I never would have found God. I never would have been able to escalate or elevate myself. And meditate on my future self and how wonderful and great He is, and how thankful He is for what I've been able to push through, so that I can get through that. Like a butterfly, you go through. You have to go through the hardships, and you have to go through that period, that nesting period, in order to really embrace and fly and be the true self that you should be. So if you can change the narrative first, self-love, change the narrative that I'm not sick, I'm healing. And in my case, I am. I used to do 40,000 steps a day, and now I'm down to between 6,000 and 12,000 a day. And that is allowing my batteries to recharge a lot more. I have been a lot more active lately because I'd gained some weight, and I really am not trying to, I'm really trying to get my body back, but I'm still being very careful with it. I'm not doing crazy 10, 20 mile runs. I'm doing 1 to 2 mile runs. Um, so anyway, everyone has their own thresholds, their own stuff that they have to deal with, but everybody needs self-love. We're always our worst critics, and yeah, change your narrative to be more conducive to healing. Stop beating yourself up. Tell yourself that's a good thing that this happened to you. For whatever reason, even if you don't believe it or you don't know, but if you can tell yourself that's a good thing. And another thing to do every morning is to practice thankfulness. Thankful, even if you're miserable and in pain, thankful that you have another day, you're one day closer to getting better. My chronic pain lasted for about 403 days at first. 403 days of hell pain. I didn't know. I didn't have a crystal ball. I didn't know if it was going to last 20 days or a million days. But I told myself, one day down, one day closer to pain-free. And the only way to get to that is to learn the tools. And I had to learn the tools, and I went through a lot of things that I shouldn't have done. But now I'm on YouTube trying to tell you some things that I've learned that can help. So all these things collectively can coalesce into a very good healing regimen and treatment for you. I would subscribe and check out some of my other content, but love yourself. Know that, be thankful that you got one more day down, one more day closer to healing. Even when you get setbacks, realize that that's part of the healing process as well. We're all going to be better soon. And God bless, and I'm going on a run. All right. Hope to hear from you soon.